Um, Good morning. So, see, in regards to my rom-com, I still really haven't found a name for it, really. Not really. And as far as what just happened this morning on X in regards to my rom-com and unorthodox, I just want to gloss over that if you don't mind. You can, just, we don't need to talk about it. I still can't, my brain can't process what happened. I mean, I know what happened. It is clearly obvious that I was letting myself know in advance that this was coming and to prepare myself for for the magnitude of what I was about to do. But even I warned me it was coming, and even I. Oh, anyway, let's just move on, shall we? It happened. What can I do? Oh Lord, you just honestly you you can't make my life up. If you wanted to impersonate me, you couldn't come up with the storylines that make up my real life. It's like, honestly, you can see why I have to turn my life into a series of video games and comic books, movies. There's a bit of my life in everything that I create, but some of it's like I write it and then it happens in my real life. I was too scared to move you like this morning. I thought, oh God. Anyway, this is why I have to make movies about my life. And speaking of the rom-com, I've decided I want it to be like a narrated movie, like Bridget Jones's Diary. You know how she like narrates her own life, um, but in the rom-com, Julie is going to be doing it, and then obviously you find out at the end that she's telling the story to her 16-year-old daughter. I was 16 when my mum gave me the necklace and that. Telling the story to her 16-year-old daughter as she's handing her the box that the husband made, that the baby daddy made. And it's kind of like signifying passing on the next generation of magic. Like she gets to plant the seeds of the next generation of magic because the seeds are in the box. So, yeah, that's how it's going to be. I haven't decided the nationality of the baby daddy, John. Um, I'm just laughing because Peter, son of John. Um, Sorry. Yeah, I haven't decided on the national. I'm thinking maybe American. It has to be someone whose culture is very distant to the Irish Celtic fairy folk. Like the Irish just don't even bat an eyelid when it comes to like fairies and goblins and all that sort of thing. So and I mean it's the Kelly Forest, and I literally named it the Kelly Forest, knowing that it was an Irish word. So yes. When I find a place to build as well, I'm going to plant a tree. And long after I'm gone, long after my kids are gone, long after my grandkids are gone, it'll be known as the grandmother tree. So I'll plant my seed there when I find the place to build my foundation, and then we can make my RomCom. I wonder if we'll have big enough. Well, we'll have the studios as well, but I'm just thinking like the movie set of a RomCom. I mean, depending on where we built it, we could also use like the local towns and cities and villages and that as well. What we couldn't do at the foundation, we could make up for in the local area, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, so she's going to narrate the story. So I need to find myself an Irish actress. Yeah. I also had an idea for like like a Disney princess movie, like Brave and Frozen and all that. Because little girls like that sort of thing. And she trains to become a knight. And they keep treating her like she's a little girl. And she's not taking it seriously. You know, a woman would never be a knight, like that's outrageous, blah blah. But she's not having it. She's saying to her father, but like she's reading out codes and stuff, and it says, but where does it say? Where does it say that a knight can't be a girl? And he's like, tradition, blah blah blah. And she's like, but where does it say that a knight can't be a girl? Sort of thing. And so they entertain her a little bit. But she's taking it very seriously and she's not having it. She wants to earn her armour the right way. She wants to be a knight just like all the other knights in her family and all the other knights in her father's court and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, so she does the training and everything. So, a bit brave, a bit Mulan, sort of, where she's that feisty teenage girl, and yeah, she wants to earn her armour the right way. She wants to learn how to joust and she wants to do all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, there's going to be an invasion, and she's going to end up proving herself to be quite the military leader because she learned watching her father. And I mean, I don't. Do I want it? The only thing is, it's like, do I have to put in a love story? It's like, oh, I'm so tired of the love story thing. But if I had to, because, little girls love that whole princess thing, then I would probably make him one of her father's guards or one of her father's knights or something like that. He's a little bit older, maybe, like quite young, but older than her. And he's like a great military leader, and she learns from him and the father. And then, of course, like, there'll be an invasion and she has to step up and prove herself, and they're trying to do the whole, well, then if you're going to fight, you have to get behind us. And she's like, I'm not having it. That whole Joan of Arc leading the troops kind of thing. So, yeah, and then they realise that, she's a good military leader. So they follow her, and she ends up like defending the kingdom, and the bad guys run away. Yeah. And then they finally realise, she's earned her armour. Well, the other thing is, it's like, if it's not that her father's the king. It could be that her father is a knight, and you know how with knighthoods and they get passed down from father to son, sort of thing. But maybe he didn't have a son; he only had a daughter. I mean, that would actually make more sense, wouldn't it? If he was a knight and yeah, he didn't have a son to pass it down to, and so she convinces the king, let me train to be the knight, like, oh, I want to be the knight, and then she argues her point. Where does it say that a knight can't be a girl? And then she ends up being the one to defend the king and stuff like that, and she earns her knighthood. Because that's what I said to the king. If I ever got a knighthood, do I have to be called a dame? Can I not be called Sir? I want to be called Sir Debbie Callahan. So it's kind of like that. It's just if because I know little girls love the love stories and that, but it's like men just annoy me at the moment. Uh, but yeah, that's probably what I'll have. Like, she'll be training alongside him, or he works under her father, something like that. And then, I don't know, maybe he gets wounded and she rescues him on the battlefield. How about that? As always. Brave Sir Debbie to the rescue every single time. Well, her name's not going to be Debbie. I'll maybe call her Meadow. Oh, because that's my middle name, Lee. It means meadow. So I might call her Meadow. Does she have to be a princess, though? Are all the ones in Brave princesses and that? Not all of them, eh? So, and Brave. And all the Disney ones and that, not all of them are princesses, eh? Because, like, are they? Oh my gosh, are they all? I mean, Cinderella wasn't technically a princess, was she? Yes, she was. Were they all princesses? Or Disney princesses? But they weren't all princesses, were they? Because Mulan wasn't a princess. Was she? Oh my god. Pocahontas wasn't a princess. Well, I mean, she was a chieftainess's daughter. That's close enough. I don't want to make her. I mean, I'm not Disney. I don't have to make her a princess. It makes more sense if she's the only daughter of a knight. I want to give it a really cool name. I've been sitting on the name, and it's like I kind of want to give it like a Sir Meadow, Sir Princess. Well, not Sir. Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking when I was originally going to make her a princess, but I really think making her the only child of a knight and then having to argue her point in court with the king um, makes more sense. I'm going to call her Meadow because it's kind of like oxymoronic that she's called Meadow, but she ends up like being a Boudica style badass on the battlefield. um, but I thought her training and that would be quite funny, especially when she has to train wearing like pretend armor and that, and it's too big for her because she's just like this dainty little thing and she can barely drag it around in that, but she's determined. They're laughing and she's determined, and she ends up, like bulking up and growing into it enough and carrying the weight of it, and all that. She ends up earning their respect And then, of course, when they're on the battlefield, she proves herself. And they're like, Your Majesty, she deserves a knighthood. So she gets her knighthood. So I need to give her a name that reflects the fact that it's a girl getting a man's title. Miss Knight, or, but spell it Knight, Miss Knight, or I'll think of it. I'll think of it. Let's just call it Miss Knight for now. Anyway, they're just my ideas. I'm going to have my breakfast now. I shall speak to you later. Ka kite anō.